So if we want to find the lateral surface area of this right pentagonal pyramid, the lateral surface area is 1/2 the slant height times the perimeter of the pentagon, the perimeter of the base. But as we look at this, we are not given slant height, but we are given some information. We're told that the base, every side of the pentagon, on the base is 8 centimeters. And we're also told that the lateral edges are 10 centimeters. So if we were to look at a single face, of course there are 5 congruent faces, but each face looks like this. Each face has the base edge is equal to 8, and the lateral edge is equal to 10. And the slant height comes from the vertex down to the base edge. It's perpendicular, and it actually bisects the base edge. So that's what one face looks like. So if the base edge is 8, we know half of that would be 4. We actually have a right triangle here, and we are able to use Pythagorean theorem to find the slant height. Pythagorean theorem says that the hypotenuse is equal to the slant edge squared plus the base of that triangle squared. Okay, so 100 equals the slant edge squared plus 16. Let's subtract 16 from both sides. And so we get the slant height is the square root of 84. We can just leave it like that. If you wanted to, you could pull out the square root of 4 times the square root of 21, which would mean 2 square root of 21 is the way to simplify that radical. But we can just leave this. It's something we're going to put in our calculators anyway. So that's what the slant height is. We used the fact that every face is a triangle, and the slant height would be considered one of the legs of a right triangle. So what is the lateral surface area for this pyramid? It's going to be 1/2 the square root of 84. And what is the perimeter of a polygon? Perimeter of a regular polygon. All 5 sides are 8 centimeters. So in our calculators, 1/2 times the square root of 84 times 40, our lateral surface area is about, because we're going to have to round to 2 decimal places, 183, if we're going to 2 decimal places, 0.30 centimeters squared. Centimeters squared, because surface area is a square unit. So we used the fact that each face is a triangle to find the slant height. If you wanted to, you could have just found the area of one of the sides. It would have required you find that altitude, which winds up being the slant height anyway. You get the exact same result. So you can use L equals 1/2 the slant height times the perimeter, or you could find the area of one of the triangles and multiply by the number of sides. Whatever you think is easier. Now, the total surface area, that's going to be the lateral surface area. That's the area on all the faces. And then you also have to add the area of the base. And pyramids only have one base. So what equation will you use to find the area of the base? Well, it's going to depend on the shape of the base. If it's a square, you're going to use side squared. If it's a rectangle, you're going to use length times width. If it's a pentagon, you use the area formula for whatever shape is whatever polygon is your base. And in this particular case, and we look in this pyramid, this is a regular square pyramid. Okay, so all those sides are congruent, and all of the faces are congruent here. But even if you have an oblique pyramid, obviously all the faces are not congruent here. We can still use our equation to find the volume of a pyramid. The volume of a pyramid is 1/3. We're going to use that 1/3 in our formula. But we'll need to know the altitude or the height. So the volume of a pyramid is 1/3. The area of the base times the height. What is that height? That height is the altitude of the pyramid. That is from the vertex, the distance from the vertex to the plane, the perpendicular distance. And what's the area of the base? Well, that depends on the shape of the base. If it's a square, use area of a square. If it's a hexagon, use area of a regular polygon. So let's go through this example. Let's find the volume of a regular square pyramid with a height of 4 inches and base edges of 6 inches. So if volume is going to equal 1/3, 1/3 because it comes to a point, we would not multiply by 1/3 if this was a prism. But because it is a pyramid, we're going to multiply by 1/3. The area of the base times the height. Our base is a 6 by 6 square. What's the area of a 6 by 6 square? Side squared is the area of a square. And what's our height? We are told the height, or the altitude, is 4. So our volume is going to be 1/3 times 36 times 4. And volume is always cubic. So 3 goes into 36 12 times 48 cubic inches. Volume is always in cubic inches. So just as a reminder of your units, linear units are going to be for lengths of lines and slant height. Those are just going to be feet, inch, or centimeter. Area is square units, inches squared, centimeters squared, and volume is cubed units, cubic feet, cubic inches, cubic centimeters.